Indiana lawmakers passed Senate Bill 1 during the recent legislative session. It says third graders who don't pass IREAD can advance to the next grade. Literacy rates have been declining for the last decade, but as Benta Boutier reports, some educators and parents worry about unintended effects of the bill.
After dinner, it's time for cards with Shawn Diltz, her husband, and 4 grandchildren who live with her. It's all fun this evening, but Diltz signed them up for online summer school, which starts soon.
Mostly just so that they're better prepared for the next grade that they're going into, especially their speed of reading and reading comprehension.
A couple years ago, her granddaughter, an incoming 5th grader at Binford, just barely missed the mark to pass the IREAD test. The Monroe County School District suggested summer school then to prep for a retake.
I just arranged to be able to work with her, and then she was able to retake the test, and luckily she did well with the test and moved on to 4th grade. But still, just reading comprehension with COVID, I think, has affected the kids.
Nearly 20% of state 3rd graders did not pass the test that year. Senate Bill 1 becomes effective for the upcoming academic year. 3rd graders must repeat the grade if they don't pass the reading proficiency test, with some exceptions. Diltz says the measure doesn't account for test-taking ability or a teacher's input on what a student's learned.
The students may do great on their work for weeks leading up to that, but that's not taken into consideration.
She worries the law will pressure teachers to use more class time to teach to the test. About 40 minutes down State Road 37, 36 3rd graders gathered in Parkview Elementary's lunchroom in Bedford for summer school. All retook the IREAD exam this month. If these students don't pass their summer retake, they'll receive individualized instruction during the school year and retake the test in 4th grade. They are the last class where this will be the case. Most students who do not pass will not be allowed to advance without a passing grade. Most schools give the test starting in 2nd grade and then again in 3rd. The state's retention policy goes into effect for incoming 3rd graders this academic year.
Starting next year will be very pressure-packed.
Lemons taught one of the 3rd grade summer reading classrooms for North Lawrence Community Schools. He's taught summer school reading a few years. For a lot of kids who don't pass IREAD in 2nd or 3rd grade, he says reading comprehension isn't the issue.
A lot of the way the state asks them to engage in reading is not familiar to the students. So just kind of walking them through the metacognitive approach to taking some of those tests can be helpful.
For other students, problems may include focus, time on task, or trauma-based factors. All 5 North Lawrence Community Elementary schools are Title I. In the 2022-2023 school year, more than 84% of its students passed IREAD. The corporation had a higher passing rate than surrounding districts. Tricia Hudson credits their educators' science of reading and a strong summer school program.
I feel like all of our elementaries are very well aligned in their efforts in their core instruction and remediation or tiered instruction.
Hudson says holding kids back raises funding issues. Districts can apply for reimbursement from the state. In 2015, more than 270 schools participated in the state's reimbursement program. 40 schools joined by 2022. But the average student-teacher ratio must be 15-1 for reimbursement. Hudson says that needs to be smaller.
We would never have an intervention group during the school year of 15 students to 1 teacher. That's just unheard of. So usually we want to keep those groups at 4 to 6 students per teacher if we're talking intervention. And that's truly what the summer school would be. It would be an intervention. So those guidelines are really difficult to stomach.
Her district scaled its summer programming back to only the pre-K Jumpstart and 3rd grade reading this year because of federal funding cuts and an end to COVID relief. But she credits the state with allocating $185 million to support regional reading programs in summer school this year, across more than 80 counties. She appreciates grants offered by the state for the science of reading. IREAD scores for this year won't be released until August when summer retakes are done. Diltz's grandson, an incoming 3rd grader, will take the reading proficiency exam this year. She's considering moving him to Clear Creek Christian, a private school. He started kindergarten during the pandemic 2 years ago, and Diltz thinks smaller class sizes might benefit him.
So that he will be prepared for a number of things, but definitely for the IREAD 3.
She says she supports the state's efforts to raise scores, but doesn't like the absolute of holding a child back. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Ben Taboutier.